the next flip side of it, we've looked at the passing game, we've talked about some of the weapons and how it might all mesh, is the running game. And we were kind of last time with Stidham at the helm, we're talking about how it's probably going to be back to, rookie year Brady, where it's very run heavy, just kind of keep the chains moving and let your defense win you the games. Do you think that suddenly changes now with Newton? Kind of how does this impact the overall offense, but also, especially with the run game, especially the dual threat part too? Like, do you expect that to be capitalized upon, and how would that impact the run game as a whole?
I do, because I think the Patriots sort of go off their players' strengths, and Newton's strength is a dual threat, is being a dual threat quarterback.
Yeah.
So McDaniels is going to sort of ride that wave and design plays for that. So I think that's going to be a big part of the Patriots offense. And kind of like I said before, they have nothing to lose with his health in a way. Like, they don't have any long-term commitment, so they can sort of allow him to be free and do his own thing. And from Newton's standpoint, he probably wants to showcase all of his games to get that next big contract. So I would expect a lot of that, and maybe not, they're not going to probably take it as easy on him as if they were locked into him for the next 3 or 4 years. So I expect that to be a big part of the offense, and in turn, that probably takes away from the other running backs on the roster, the Sony Michel, Damien Harris, Rex Burkhead. So I would probably say the running game takes a hit with Newton at quarterback as opposed to Stidham.
He's such a goal line hammer, too. He has been throughout his Carolina career. So if he starts calling his own number a little bit more, the Patriots call his number because he is 6'5", just a monster.
Right.
That certainly limits the appeal. So let's get to those guys, though. If there is some trickle down and there is enough volume for the run game, certainly not a great positive right now. But who's going to be the guy back there with him? Is it going to be Sony Michel? What a disappointment last year. You predicted it, which was awesome. I certainly didn't touch him after me and you talked. And now he's had a foot surgery. The stats were bad. He just didn't look great. Like, is he kind of done? Or is he going to be the guy in that backfield with Cam Newton when the season starts?
I mean, I think he will be to start just because he's a first-round pick, and I think Belichick sort of has that ego thing where you can't really move on from a first-round pick right away. But I think that you could see Damien Harris certainly get more reps this year than he did last year. I mean, he's a third-round pick out of Alabama. He only played in 2 games last year, so I think this would be the year where if Michel does seem to struggle and not be that guy, they won't hesitate this year to sort of let Harris out there and get some more reps. And I kind of want to see what he can do. We weren't given the chance to see that last year in the regular season, and he came from Alabama. He made some plays there. I kind of liked what I saw in training camp last year and some of the preseason games. So he's a guy to keep an eye on. That I think if he's given the chance to play and showcase his talents, he could surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm excited for Harris too, especially the cost. I mean, going at nothing for fantasy price. When it's an unclear backfield like this, unless you really want to bet on the number one's talent, then I always try to go after the cheaper guy in fantasy. And right now that's clearly Damien Harris. And I don't feel like betting on Sony Michel's talent because I just haven't seen anyone who does anything but get what's blocked, nothing breakaway, certainly not a running back first rounder that you should ever have passed on Lamar Jackson for at this point. It just looks completely horrible. But yeah, I like the Harris call. I mean, he's definitely one of the most intriguing late round picks in fantasy, in my opinion, for all those reasons you cited. What about James White? Like, how does he sit? Is this going to be business as usual, standard James White season, or does Newton kind of change that a bit?
I think it's going to be the same thing. I mean, he's probably he's not going to get targeted as much as he did to Brady, but I still think the production's going to be there just because he's almost like Edelman in a way. He does his little things so well that it's hard to ask James White to change what he does. He's still going to be a guy that's going to pick up his yards on those screen plays, be a guy on third down that can line up wide and get you that 5 or 6 yard gain to pick up a first down. And so sort of like Newton with Edelman, you just have to figure out how to work with him just because James White's just a big talent. He's one of the best third down backs in the league. So I really don't see much of an impact from James White's fantasy. He's a consistent guy to have. He's a great flex option. You sort of know what you're going to get from him. And I want the McCaffrey had his fair share of catches with Carolina. Don't get me wrong. So I think Newton has shown the ability to sort of throw to the running backs. You know better than me. How much was McCaffrey's in the passing game in Carolina? A little bit.
He had like set records the last couple of years, but Newton's been hurt unfortunately for a good chunk of it. But 2018. Newton and him had a solid rapport going where they really evolved the offense, and that was kind of McCaffrey's first breakout season. I mean, he's gone back-to-back years breaking his own record with receptions. So, yeah, McCaffrey's just an absolute animal, and Newton certainly used him quite well the second year. The rookie year, it took a little while to get used to, but Norv Turner finally used him the right way, kind of gave him, Cam a very easy outlet, which we often see.
Well, that's probably what we'll see.
Yeah.
McDaniels could probably look to that year and sort of see what worked with McCaffrey out of the backfield and try to use some of those same concepts with James White.
Exactly, yeah. I think they've already said, too, I've read a couple reports that part of the reason the Patriots were so comfortable with Newton was they talked to Norv Turner, and he was like, oh, yeah, this guy's still, he still got it those first 8 games in 2018. I mean, he was putting the team on the back, so anyone who goes after him, the Patriots would be dumb not to, like, type of thing. And, Belichick respected Turner enough to listen to his advice, so we'll see how it all ends up playing out. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.